keep your head up, you'll be okay.
Hello and welcome. My name's Rose Smith and welcome to my new channel, TrUth.REALity.YoU. I started this channel because I often have dreams which are for large numbers of people, okay, so the collective. When I actually started dreaming and remembering my dreams when I was 2, and so dreams have been a very big part of my life, and I'm now in my 60s, so it's been a long time I've been focused on dreams. I often dream about the future and the very distant past. When I first started paying attention, I was often dreaming about dreams that, things that were going on in my life. But over the decades, I've found that the dreams seem to be going back in time, to the point now where I have the occasional dream that is 10,000 years ago or more. Okay, so a couple of nights ago, I had a dream about a giant that was in my face, and it was a bit of a shock, but I immediately recognized that this giant was a titan, or what's known as the Nephilim. And so the titan I dreamt about happened to be a grandson of Zeus, so second generation titan. His parents were Iapetus and Clymene, and I had to actually go and research all of this because in the dream I actually asked him his name. So let's go to the board because I want to talk about the name and what it actually means. It's really important and good practice to go and check the origins of names. So I asked him what his name was, and I heard Menalis. M-E-N-A-L-I-S. Okay, and I don't know why, but I always remember the spelling. So I knew that intuitively that was made up of men, A-L and is. Okay, like that. Menalis. And I did study Latin at school, and so I know that A-L means the rest. So we had men, the rest is. Okay, was how my thinking was going about this. And so, I was looking at it and I thought it'd be good to find out what the original meaning of men was. And I found out that men was actually person or people. And then we had the rest is. Personal people, the rest is. So then that made me think there's two groups. There's the people, and then there's the others. Okay, and then I thought about that, and I thought, well, who are the others? Okay, and then, of course, I realised the others are the titans, the gods. And who are they? They were the aliens. But that's a few more dreams away, and I've dreamt about the aliens first coming here thousands and thousands of years ago. I've dreamt about that multiple times in my life. And so when I went to research, because I had this name here, and I'm looking for a titan called Menalis, the one I found was actually called Menocious, but I think they're the one and the same. Menocious is spelt like that, and it's from the Greek. That's the Greek spelling, okay? This men means, the whole word means doomed might. Okay, doomed might. And menos, meno is might, and or force of rage, and this part here means ill-fated, or doomed. Okay, so doomed, ill-fated, rage, or might. So this is the kind of anger or rage that doesn't get you anywhere. There is a thing of righteous anger that Jesus talked about, where you can actually achieve, where you're being motivated by anger and you can actually achieve. But this is the kind of useless sort of anger that just is like pouring oil onto a fire, or kerosene onto a fire. It makes it worse. Hesiod actually called Menocius Hybristes, which means a violent, overbearing, or insolent man. Okay, he was actually killed by Zeus, according to some accounts, by a flash of lightning. And according to other accounts, he was confined to Tartarus. Tartarus is like hell, but it's worse than hell. It's actually underneath hell. There was this kind of idea that was different levels of reality, and Tartarus was actually underneath hell. In the rest of my dream, it was just two visions. It was the first part where he was just right in my face, and then the second part, he was I was standing there and I had chopped his head off. This is a picture I've made, an image I've made, which is not exactly what was in my dream, but this one's better dressed. In my dream, Menocius or Menalus was dressed in a loincloth. He had a body very similar to this. The colour was very similar. He was very grey, like a dark grey colour. You know that sort of, when somebody's really sick, or sometimes with cancer, they have that grey sort of aura. It was like that. He had that aura and that energy around him. So it was some really dank, dark, depressing energy. And the head in my dream was a bit different. It was a bit more human than this head, but very, very ugly. And I think the face was sort of reminiscent of the energy generally, that his face was showing that, how ugly he was on the inside. So at the end was just two flashes, him standing there and then me, and I had chopped his head off. And I wouldn't recommend this, because normally if I come up against like an evil or a dark energy, I try to work with it, because I actually feel a bit sorry for them, and I'm trying to help them out, because they're trying to do the best they can with the very limited energy that they've got. And 99% of the time it works. So if you have like an entity or a dark force and you try to work with it, 99% of the time they want to go to the light. They want to be free from the situation they're in, and they will do it and go towards the light, and they become unburdened as they detach from you and go up into the ether and into the light. It actually helps them on their journey, and they evolve and advance. There is the odd time where they don't, okay, and that's another story. So normally I wouldn't chop their heads off, but I mean, that's what I dreamt. I'm standing there with his head chopped off. So I woke up and I thought, oh, that's a bit grim. That's not something I'd normally do in a dream, but there you go, that's what happened. And then that day, a whole lot of things happened, because I'm renovating here, and I did get very stressed, and I was very angry with a few people because they weren't listening to what I was saying. And I felt this energy come up my body, and it was in my lungs. And I could feel like my lungs started to feel like a flower. And on the outside of the flower, it was vibrating. Every petal, it felt like the petals of the flowers were the outside of my lungs. And I could actually feel this vibration in my chest. And I'll just show you generally where it was. It was sort of here, and then the petal was vibrating all around the outside of my lungs. And so I knew something was coming up. I could feel it rising up, coming up out of my body. And I'm having this sort of verging on an argument and putting my, expressing myself. And when I started to feel this, I thought, oh, this is something coming up. So I'm not going to say what I want to say because I know this is just the trigger, the outside circumstance is just the trigger to allow this energy to come up and be released. So I was very careful then when I became aware. And so I just felt it come up, and it just then came out of my head, and it was totally released and transformed, and this big beautiful flower was there. I can't sort of really describe it other than to say it was sort of a light yellow apricot colour with these really big petals. I don't think there's such a flower. I've never seen this on earth. But so it was a spiritual flower, and my lungs were like the petals. So it's like now I've somehow released that. So the reason I'm doing this video and how it relates to you, because that's what this channel is all about, is how it relates to the collective. It's like the release of anger, and if you can take control when you're angry and not just let that anger have its way, actually use your mind to control the anger and look at the anger and hold it inside you while you're at the same time allowing it to be released in an appropriate way, not out of your mouth. It'll come up through the chakras and up through the crown chakra and come out that way. And then that will be free, you know, that energy will be free. So we are not our emotions. We do not need to allow our emotions to control us. So that's the point of this video, really. What I've learnt from this dream, again, you know, I've learned it before, but again, it really is highlighted. We are not our emotions. They're just a part of us, an energy within us that we have a very intimate relationship with. But just because of that, they don't need to control us. Okay, so I hope you found this a little bit interesting and a bit different. Please consider subscribing to not only this channel, but also my sister channel, Absolute Soul Secrets. And if you're new, hit that notification bell as well. Have a wonderful month, everybody, and I shall see you again soon. Thanks, and bye for now.
There's a beautiful day headed your way. Keep your head up, you'll be okay. A beautiful day waiting for you. Just open your eyes, you'll see it's true.